Hello, my name is Andrew Hagle. Many of you know me as Sniggle Fluffy on the Experience Project or Truckin' Hubby on Twitter. And we're to the second part of our series in unpacking Paul Harvey's If I Were the Devil. And my conversation continues with my wife, Kathy, on just how far did it go when Paul Harvey said, if I were the devil, I would put atheists into the highest courts of the land and rule against God. We've certainly seen that with Roe V Wade and several other decisions. And just how old is this taking God out of society? And what kind of detrimental effects and how old are they? So we're continuing with this conversation. Look forward to your comments.
And they do this taboo thing because society has taught us that the Bible is taboo and the Bible is awful mean and gross. But how can we say that society is not awful mean and gross when we accept things that are just absolutely horrendous? I mean, the things that so far this book has been describing, like slicing your tongue to make it look like a snake's tongue. I mean, the idea of messing around with your body because you want to get some spiritual high, you don't need to do that. And Christ never asked us to do that as Christians. He didn't ask us to do bloodletting. And if these people think that this is the newest, coolest rage, that they have done this, and this is like the step forward for society, I've got news for them. This happened in times of the Bible. I mean, Baal and Baal worship. They actually buried children in stone to make houses. They would take a newborn child and they would place it in stone, and then they'd make their house around this child, and it was supposed to help the house build up. And they would do things like in the Bible it talks about putting your children through fire to receive the blessing of Baal. Well, don't we do that now? I mean, we have a steel worshiping center now with abortion distortion where we put our young children and unborn children on Baal's altar, and it's not a stone altar this time, but a steel altar. And we have the abortion doctors, which might as well be Baal priests, giving our children up to Baal through abortion. And I forget the amount of children a day lost, but it's in the thousands daily. And now, with the third trimester abortions and the things that are going on there, I think we're just fueling with the abortions, and this is my personal opinion, we're fueling psychopaths. We're fueling serial killers because these guys are getting kicks off of things like the thing that blew my mind, and I'm sorry, this is going to make you lose your lunch, but the reality here, you got to hear it plainly. He's twisting the heads off of babies. This is something that we see in horror movies, and people say, oh, it's a cool horror movie. Oh, yeah, there's zombies out there, and that's really cool. No, the reality is you're killing a living person. The reality is with these horror movies, as much as it looks really cool on video, is that that's killing, that's murder, that's death, and it should not be revered anyways. And I see that so often. This whole society is just reeking with death.
Amazing.
And you look at the things that are lovely, the things that are pure, the things that are wholesome, and the things that bring life to people, and no one talks about that. But you look at it like with EP. I mean, your EP friends are going to look at this, and I see it on EP, and I see people depressed. I see people saying, well, I don't feel like living today. And, yeah, pain hurts. I have a lot of pain. My back hurts. Sometimes it hurts to walk. But even if you find the smallest thing, it's a blessing. God's put you here, and if you wake up in the morning and you're breathing, there's a reason to live.
That's an interesting point you brought up about EP, because I've noticed on EP consistently, the more wild sex that people tend to be into, the more they tend to join the group that I suffer from depression or some similar type of depression group. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's interesting. Before I became a Christian, and you can verify this, Andrew.
Yes, I can.
I was really wild sexually, and a lot of what I did, I would never told it to anybody at the time, but I felt empty. Inside, I was really empty, and I felt shame. There was a lot of shame. I had to hide it. It had to be hidden. I couldn't let other people see it, and if other people saw it, it was the other people that were in the same disaster I was in. And I had multiple sex partners, and I will admit it. Now, with you, we've been married 17 years.
Yes, we have.
And we have been faithful for 17 years. There has been no other partners. There hasn't been any weirdness going on. Our sex life is incredible. I will not go into what our sex life is. That is something between Andrew, me, and the bed. It ends with the bedroom door shutting. And that's my time with Andrew. And that's how it should be. I don't need to publicize what I do with Andrew in the bedroom. And, I think it's kind of weird when people have to publicize what's going on in the bedroom. Because quite frankly, okay, so you're homosexual, let's say. Honestly, I have no problem with you being homosexual. I just don't want to hear your sexual exploits. If you're homosexual, that's between you and God will deal with you. I mean, I'll love you no matter what you deal with. But do I really want to hear what you did in the bedroom, whether you're homosexual or straight? No. I don't. I was, as a young child, embarrassed when I heard my parents doing things in the bedroom, and that was through the wall. I don't think I really want to see, yes, I got off with Susie yesterday. That just doesn't float my boat. But I do want to have conversations with you, and there's a lot of things that I agree with people that are really off the wall on EP sexually, but they enjoy things like walking on the beach or enjoying the moonlight or, some of these conservative political views I have. There's some people that, I'm not going to name names. I don't think it's appropriate, but there's some people I know that like to do things that I could not do.
I would agree. There's some people I don't agree with. I don't agree with on some of their sexual practices, and there's some people I don't agree with on some of their other views, but then there are some values that I see in them, and they're still people, and they were still made in God's image, and I think that's one thing that's important to remember as Christians, is whether you agree with somebody or not, whether they're moral or not. As long as they're still alive, they're still eligible to be saved. I am Andrew Hagle, and I brought you this message. Please join me on social media to continue the conversation. I'm on Experience Project is Sniggle Fluffy, on Twitter is Truckin' Hubby, and on Facebook, Vimeo, YouTube, and Patriot Action under my own name. Thank you for watching, and God bless.